Today, we'll be taking a wee trip to the once legendary Fallon's department store. It's now a raider stronghold. There's some notes and unique items you can find within. Now, first things first, when you arrive, you'll find lots of bodies strewn around the place, and it is a virtual minefield. So be very careful when you're making your way around to the main entrance, as you don't want to get caught off guard by some of the mines. They could even be upside down, making them an added threat. Now, this is one of the many entrances, there's about 4, to get inside Monsignor Plaza, but this one tends to be the lightest on enemies. You just have to worry about the mines, and once you're in, you'll be able to get a friend to help you clear. Once in, the place is quite familiar. There's several stores with unique items inside, and a police protectron. Once you activate him using this novice terminal, he will help you clear through the raiders. Just be sure not to shoot him, as he won't be too pleased about that. Opening this fridge door will trigger a shotgun shot, and sometimes it can take you out and catch you by surprise. The rest of this place just has various bits of equipment, industrial size shortening, as well as a safe. Now, let's move on to the bookstore. Would have been neat if you'd found a comic in here, although they chose not to add any. You can find just some pre-war money, burnt textbooks, and a wee cash register. The more interesting store is this one. It's a clothing store where you can find a Stars and Stripes bandana. Now, it would have been one of the rarest bandanas in the game. It's only surpassed by the leopard, as you cannot find the leopard anywhere in the game. It's a random spawn, and the Jangles one that you find in Nuka World only has 1 spawn point, so it kind of holds a second place with Jangles there. And the bathrobe, it's not the most unique thing in the game, but the one thing the bathrobe has going for it is it provides +2 to charisma. No damage with threshold, so you are pretty much a bullet sponge at that point, and it doesn't help in any way. But Stars and Stripe bandana, I mean, it's a pretty cool fit, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so when you've got to this store, the raiders will have more than likely noticed you. The turrets will fire, and if you've got your little protectron, he can soak a good bit of fire. Now, you're faced with 2 choices. One, you can just go up and head first into the raiders. If you want a slightly sneakier route, and maybe they haven't discovered you yet, you can sneak your way into the bathroom here, up the stairs,
Need a drink.
and you can take them out by surprise. Now, this leads to the main entrance, which is heavily guarded again by raiders. There's a wee outpost out there. We will be doing a check around the entire outside at the end of the video, and you'll find a skull and some Mr. Handy Fuel. Now, in order to get to the top floor here, there are, well, there's actually 2 sections. It can be a little confusing the first time you've come in. Now, this elevator only takes you between the bottom floor and the first one. This next elevator will take you
Going up.
to the next floor, but again, this is kind of sectioned off.
4th floor.
And all you'll find up here, the staircase doesn't connect to anything other than yet another elevator. And you'll find a few raiders up here, another appliances store. Maybe they were, well, this is more an electronic one. You can find lots of equipment, handy fuel, even a biometric scanner in the toolbox. So once you grab all that, you can either use the armor workbench before heading out to the rooftop. Now, we will be exiting out onto the roof in the next part of this, so let's jump back down. And see that little opening that you walked up? Well, all you have to do is take the stairway up here. There is a little love story between 2 raiders, Griswold and Sue. And with the new update, Piggy Bank Mines will also be in this little gun shop. Got the weapons workbench, bathroom scale that'll set off a nasty grenade bouquet, and some individual bullets you can find. Oh, I should mention, there's also the 10mm reflex sight, and if you need a 10mm, there's one in this little curio door here. Okay, this is Griswold's terminal, so let's have a read. Finally got all the terminals wired up. Took a while to get the turrets playing nice, especially I have to remember to get something nice for Jake after what happened to his pet mole rat. I wish Sue didn't have to be such a pain about this taking a while. Just because she can load up a few holotapes doesn't mean she knows the first thing about how complicated this old crap is. Whatever, it works now. Now, when you hit play tape, it doesn't actually play any audio. It just gives you his poetry journal. Do not read. This means you. Property of Griswold. On life. Oh, sorry. On life, on death, on Sue, on Griswold, on Sue. Ah. Don't know why the life one isn't loading. Ah. Strange. Anyway. Load to die, to kill to main. I really like to watch men die. I hope nobody kills me, so I can kill them instead. On Sue. Sue is pretty, Sue is nice, Sue can shoot real good even at night. I love Sue. Low to be tough and handsome, low to be the best shooter ever, low to be Griswold, best raider ever. And the last one, Sue is mean and not nice, that is why I shot her twice. So, now that we've read through that, Sue didn't make it, Griswold did in fact shoot her, but we'll see what was going on that way. You can look outside, but it's more, it's, you know, it's not real. It's just like a wee sort of light box. Now, if you've got the Slocum's Duo content creation downloaded, you'll find a delivery crate as well as lots of donut mix and everything else that comes with that pretty cool add-on, as well as a coffee station and a donut fryer. If you don't have the content creation, they won't be there, so it is the Slocum's Duo one. I recommend that if there's any you're going to pick up, it's really cool. Okay, Sue's terminal now. Touch this and die slowly, especially you, Griswold. Note to self, next time I see Griswold, shoot him 3 times. So, obviously the romance didn't really blossom. He was mean and Griswold decided to just take his anger out and he killed her. So, this detonates a makeshift bomb. You have to be careful about that. The chimes will alert the raiders if you're trying to sneak up this way. And when you get to the bottom, it is just an expert lock out to the back of Cambridge. Once you're outside, as you can see, that entrance isn't too far from the one we originally went into. It is an expert lock. It doesn't avoid too many of the raiders. I normally opt to go for the police protectron route, but each to their own. There is a much larger main entrance, but there's no real, you have no real idea as to where that entrance is. When you're inside, the layout doesn't really make sense, but we can just assume that that was used at some point. Now, since we are outside, we can walk all the way around here, and you'll find a little kiosk with a certain character inside. This is Richard. Now, Richard was giving out some of the synthetic truth by Piper, where you can have a little read with the public occurrences. Now, you might be wondering, what was he doing out here? Well, he thought it was a good idea, as we're about to see. Reading Richard's note, you can see, what makes you think people will buy copies of the newspaper from you when they can just get one in Diamond City? Okay, maybe some of the traders or something north of the river might buy. And what's cut off actually says, but that place is crawling with raiders, it is just not worth it. So that's the line that's missing. I have no idea why they would cut that out. But once you do read it, it will give you the location of Diamond City. It's probably the most obscure way to find out the location of Diamond City. I would love to know if there was any more than like 1% of the player base found Diamond City off that note. So if you did, let me know in the comments. That would be really cool to hear.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
Okay, so this is a little raider bunker, which is the other entrance. There's a terminal, although it's only used for the turrets, I believe. Yeah, just turret control, which you've probably killed the turrets before you actually sneak in here. This place will normally be engaged with the super mutants. They tend to run a patrol from their little high-rise building into this little raider encampment, so you mightn't even need to fight them. I normally find it pretty much cleared out. Okay, lastly, we're going to nip back up to the roof that we were just at, so remember that entrance. And hey presto, we are on the roof, using that other entrance. A few raiders will be up here. Once you take out 2 of them, you can jump straight down to Richard's kiosk. As for the rest, I mean, you can wander about, but they haven't hidden any items along the roof. Trust me, I've checked. Multiple times, actually. Because I was convinced that the reason they had this little section of roof is that you were meant to, walk about and find something. But it just gives you a general, vantage point. Once you're finished with here, I do recommend you check out the Science Centre over there. It's a little unmarked vendor, which is pretty cool. Monsignor Plaza is located directly in the centre of the map. It's close to the Cambridge Crater, Bunker Hill, and Irish Pride Industries. Thank you for watching.